Today we're going to show you guys how to brew a blonde ale. We have ourselves a very simple recipe. It's a recipe that you can do even if you're just getting started. And all I really have here is 3 pounds of dry malt extract. This is Brew's Extra Light Pilsen. And we're going to be using that at the beginning of the boil. And then we have our liquid malt extract, which we're going to be using for a late addition. That's all we're going to be using for malt, so it's going to be a very light color beer. The hardest thing about this beer is to keep the color as light as possible, which is why we're doing the late addition. Now, as far as hops, we have a pretty interesting hop schedule going on, and we're going to be using what's more or less a modified first wort hopping, since we're not going to be doing a steep or a mash, but we're going to be adding hops pre-boil, and we're going to be doing 25 ounces of Northern Brewer, and actually that will be 1/4 of an ounce of Northern Brewer and 1/4 of an ounce of Brewer's Gold hop pellets. And then we're going to be using 1/4 of an ounce of Northern Brewer hops, and we're going to boil those for 45 minutes. And we're going to then do our flavor and aroma hops are going to be Brewer's Gold. We're going to do 2 additions of 1/4 of an ounce each, one at 20 minutes and one at flame out or at 0 minutes. For yeast, we're going to be using American Ale yeast. This is the white yeast 1056. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So our first step here is going to be to clean and sanitize. 4 pieces.
Okay, inside the box.
Correction. First step is going to be to serve yourself a beer.
That's okay.
So after you serve your beer and after you clean and sanitize, what we're going to do is we're going to bring 3.5 gallons of water to a temperature of about 160 degrees. Once your water reaches 160 degrees, what you're going to do is you're going to add all your malt extract. It's going to be the full 3 pounds. And just make sure that as soon as you throw it in, stir in the wort so that it doesn't clump up, and you'll be good to go. After you add the malt, you're going to be adding your hops, and you're going to be adding your hops before the boil starts. So I'm doing kind of a modified first wort hop technique here, where I'm adding the hops before the boil starts, but since I'm not doing a mash or steeping any grains, I'm doing it now while I'm adding the malt at 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So once this comes to a boil, what you want to do is you want to take your lid off and start counting down 60 minutes. And after 15 minutes have gone by, you're going to add your third set of hops, which is 1/4 of an ounce of your Northern Brewer hops, and these are going to be boiled for 45 minutes. When you have 20 minutes left in the boil, you're going to be adding 1/4 of an ounce of Brewer's Gold hop. And we're also going to start warming up a little bit of water so that we can heat up our liquid malt extract. It makes it easier to get all the syrup out of the can. When you have 50 minutes left in the boil, you want to remove the pot from the heat. And you want to take your liquid malt extract and you want to add all that liquid malt extract while your pot is off the heat. You want to time it so that the liquid malt extract is sitting on the heat for about 2 minutes before you go pour it. That way it's not as dense and you can scoop it out. It's a little bit easier to do it that way. And as soon as you add all that malt extract, you want to bring your pot back up to a boil and finish boiling this for 15 more minutes. When you have about 2 minutes left of the boil, you want to start preparing your ice bath, and also you're going to want to get your last set of hops ready. Okay, after your liquid malt extract has been boiling for 15 minutes and the full boil has gone for 60 minutes, you're going to turn off the heat and you're going to add your last set of hops, which is 1/4 ounce of Brewer's Gold hops. You're going to stir this, just mix it in, and then we're going to place our lid on top of the pot, and we're going to place this into our ice bath. Now that the wort is cool, what we want to do is we want to transfer the wort into our fermenting bucket, and we want to top it off to the 5-gallon mark, and we want to aerate it, meaning we want to pour it back and forth to our pot and our bucket to get some oxygen into the wort. And after that, we are simply going to pitch our yeast, and we're going to leave this beer fermenting at 62 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 weeks.
It's a crucial step.
It is.
That's good.
How about this one?
That's very good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
All right. There you go.
You're not getting it back.
I'm not. Yeah. There you go. I guess that says a lot about it. Very tasty beer. Definitely can taste a bit of the hops. Kind of citrusy, which I like. What do you think?
Hoppy, not too hoppy. It hits a nice balance, I think. That's all I got. I'm just gonna keep drinking it.
Share.
There you go.
Very good. Very, very good.
Very drinkable. Just the right amount of sweetness. Not too much. But certainly not overly bitter like an IPA, which I know you don't like the overly bitter.
I don't.
So nice, medium, middle of the road, delicious beer.
Sweet. Thank you.